A failed aerial refueling cost the U.S. Air Force more than $150 million. A KC-130 tanker and an F-35 fighter were preparing for aerial refueling. Just as the F-35 was about to connect to the refueling boom, who would have thought an accident occurred? The two aircraft collided in mid-air. You might wonder, shouldn't these two aircraft keep a distance? How did they collide? In fact, during aerial operations, even a tiny error can cause serious consequences. After the impact, the F-35 fighter almost lost control instantly. The pilot saw that the plane couldn't be saved and decisively chose to eject and escape. In midair, he watched his beloved F-35 crash to the ground and finally turn into a huge fireball. At that moment, probably his heart was also bleeding. After all, this F-35 is not cheap, worth about $100 million. The situation on the KC-130 side is also not optimistic. The impact caused two of its engines to fail, and a large hole was also punched in the fuselage. The pilots in the cockpit immediately sent out an emergency distress signal to the ground, reporting that they had collided with an F-35 and the plane was severely damaged and might even have caught fire. But miraculously, these pilots didn't panic. They calmly operated the plane and began an emergency descent. In the next 12 minutes, the captain and co-pilot did their best and successfully made an emergency landing in a remote field in California. This is just like a scene in a movie. Thrilling. Fortunately, all 8 crew members on board were unharmed, only with some minor injuries. It can be said that they are really lucky to survive. Although no one was seriously injured, this accident caused huge property losses to the U.S. Air Force. The F-35 was directly scrapped, and this $100 million just went down the drain. Although the KC-130 managed to land, the maintenance cost is also a considerable expense.